Welcome to today's video, Romans 11 verse 33 explained. Oh, the depth of the riches both of the wisdom and knowledge of God! How unsearchable are His judgments, and His ways past finding out! This verse, found in Paul's letter to the Romans, stands out as a declaration of awe at God's greatness. After spending many chapters explaining how God works with both Jews and Gentiles, Paul suddenly stops to praise the incredible depth of God's wisdom and knowledge. He is overwhelmed by the realization that God's ways are far beyond human understanding. When Paul speaks of the depth of God's riches, wisdom, and knowledge, he is talking about how infinite and boundless God's resources are. God does not run out of answers or solutions. His wisdom is perfect. Every decision He makes is full of understanding that goes far beyond what we could ever know. When we look at the world, at history, or even at our own lives, we can see little pieces of God's plan, but we can never fully understand the whole picture. That is because only God can see everything at once, past, present, and future. Paul says God's judgments are unsearchable. This means that no one can fully investigate or explain why God decides to do certain things. Sometimes we may wonder why God allows hard times, or why some prayers seem unanswered, or why some people come to faith and others do not. From a human perspective, these things can be confusing. But Paul reminds us that God's judgments are based on perfect wisdom. What may look confusing or unfair to us is actually part of a bigger and better plan that we cannot see. Paul also says God's ways are past finding out. This means that even if we tried with all our might, we could not track or fully follow every detail of how God works. God's ways are higher than our ways. He is not limited by time, space, or human thinking. He weaves together millions of details in a way that is always good and always right, even if we do not understand it right now. This verse calls us to humility. It reminds us that as humans, we have limited knowledge. We should not try to put God in a box or expect Him to work according to our expectations. Instead, we are called to trust Him. When we do not understand why things happen, we can remember that God does. He is working out His plan for our good and for His glory. Romans 11 verse 33 invites us to worship. Instead of getting frustrated by what we do not understand, we can stand in awe of God's greatness. When we reflect on how wise and powerful God is, it should inspire us to praise Him, just like Paul does in this verse. It encourages us to rest in the fact that God is in control, and nothing takes Him by surprise.